Welcome back to Yelling at Trees, where we sometimes yell at trees, and it sounds a lot like this. Hey! You get out of here! You get out of here!
You don't want to hear.
It's a lot like that, actually.
Yeah.
So here we are, hanging out at El Apartamento de Pejo.
True story.
We're around the round table. Near
Kind
the
of
3D
round.
printer that's making our Settlers of Catan game.
Maybe you can 3D print me
Oh,
an
it's printing 'em out and I can actually see
Excalibur
it.
sword or something.
Good news, it didn't break halfway through this time. Like it
Yeah.
has the last 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, there was.
Corey
There's
and
lots
I
of different
both,
problems.
we both got really excited about the idea of 3D printing. And we originally convinced ourselves to get it on the premise that we were going to build a board game that had complicated pieces. We were going to 3D print after designing all of these pieces. Tomorrow, Corey plans on learning how to design things. It's been about a year.
Pretty close.
But in the meantime, we printed hundreds of like gimmicky toy things that we gave away as Christmas presents, and a big fish cup, and
Fish
some
cup.
bird feeders, and
And a piggy bank, right?
a piggy bank, and like a
our
unicorn head.
masks, our
3D
Mortal
printed
Kombat
piggy bank?
masks.
Mortal Kombat mask,
Nice.
5 of them.
and about a third of the pieces that are going to be required to play Settlers of Catan. Now, a roll of filament for our 3D printer cost about $20, and that roll prints about 10 to 15 of the Catan pieces, which means that after we've printed all of the pieces, we will almost have broken even with the price of buying Settlers of Catan, which runs about $75.
Don't you still have to have the cards and everything for it, though?
The
Yeah, we
cards
do.
are also $12, and I've already ordered them.
Oh, okay.
I factored that in because
Gotcha.
2 or 3 rolls of $20 is $60, and another 10 or 15 is $75.
But isn't the Settlers of Catan just like a cardboard game?
Yeah, they're usually
it's,
flat.
It's flat cardboard with
Yeah.
pictures on them. This is just 3D printed versions of those pictures.
So for about the same price, you got a much more
Much more detailed.
detailed.
And it's fun because Corey's painting them, and he seems to enjoy that.
Yeah,
And it
Seems
gives
more-
me a reason to make fun of him for being a nerd.
true.
And then at some point, we will probably podcast live while we play Settlers
would
of
be fun.
Catan.
That would
Nice.
be fun.
But that would be a very long
We
bunch.
might even set up like an overhead camera and film it so that we can see what's happening. It will be fun. We'll have to figure out a different way to do this. Right now, we've got a wooden round table for those of you listening. It's got a leaf in it, and we took the leaf out, and we have about an inch and a half gap where we've got all of the mounts for our microphone holders
Yeah.
like fastened, and all of our cables ran so that we can use the table as like a conference table kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He originally wanted to use the whole table, and I said, no, leave it out, you know?
Leaf it out, man.
So leave it out.
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, you weren't kidding on the coffee Oreos.
Yeah, you eat one of them and you're like, hey, that's not bad. You eat 2 or 3 of them and you're like, my everything tastes like coffee now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what all the noise in gumming is we took a candy and snack break.
Yeah, Corey's eating peach Oreo gummy things.
Peach rings.
Peach rings. Ben's eating Starburst. Starburst.
Mr. Brust.
I'm eating a hard Twizzler, which is way more work than I expected. And Ross is eating Oreo cookies and Fun Dip.
Yep. Don't knock the fun dip.
I would never do such a thing. Why is the case for my capo on the table?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what my big fancy emerald laden capo came in.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. It's in my bag.
You know there's a bag inside that bag?
Yeah, it's got the little inserts for different sized guitars.
Whoa.
So like where it touches the strings, the neck has a different radius depending on what kind of guitar it is. So it may be a little more or a little less curved. And instead of having something that was way more plastic and just kind of like crunched down hard on everything, they made pieces with different radiuses so that if you know what kind of guitar you have, you can just pick that one and it pops into the capo. Otherwise,
That's nice.
you just trial and error which one works better.
That's what you did, didn't it? Wasn't it?
The one that was in it when I got it works fine on all the instruments I have.
Nice. Well, that works.
I've never tried using it on like the what do you call it, the Merlin or the
Yeah, the
mandolin.
Merlin would be weird.
But the Merlin's a key tuned instrument. So every note is the notes in the diatonic scale. The notes that aren't in that scale aren't there. They don't have frets. So if you put a capo on it, everything would be wrong.
Yeah.
Like it would no longer be in that key.
It's very technical.
Yeah.
Very.
We use science sometimes to talk about things and stuff.
Yeah, science with Merlin. That'd
Right.
be a great segment, wouldn't it?
Science with Merlin. And then we take the rod and we slam it into the ground and say, "None shall pass."
Isn't that
That's
the
what
right
makes
wizard?
mercury. Oh. That smell you notice is sulfur dioxide. Thanks, Merlin.
In gravity, it's a nice suggestion, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, it hurts. It's one of those things that just brings you down, man.
Why are you bringing me down, man?
Why you bring me down, man?
Don't break me down.
Now it's a country song. Oh, my phone's gurgling in my pocket. I wonder what it could be.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
I missed a call from LaDonna.
Who's the Donna?
I wouldn't say I missed it. I was just thinking, we were talking about her. Is it possible that she's overheard that? And I'm like, none of this is being streamed live. We're recording it onto a disc.
Who's LaDonna?
LaDonna is my cousin slash aunt slash
Ew.
great aunt slash second cousin.
Yeah.
What?
So, I had an
Can you
aunt-
draw me a map of that?
This is
very
fun to talk
difficult to
about.
me.
It's complicated. I had an aunt named Kitty. This is my father's oldest sister. No, it was the 50s or 60s. Parents were weird, man. But so Kitty, she
much
got
trash.
she got into a bunch of drugs and she was a hippie, and she died very young. And at the time, her kids were
Hey, I missed a call from her too.
13 and 15.
Trailer's on fire.
And so that's LaDonna and Billy, and because their parents, their mom died tragically from a drug overdose, we assume they weren't sure at the time, and their stepdad was such a drug addict that he could not take care of anybody. My grandmother and my grandfather adopted them, so they went from being my
okay,
cousins
that
to
makes
being
sense
my
then.
aunt and uncle. And then
I've met Billy.
yeah.
He's
haven't.
tons of fun.
He lived with me at some point. Yeah, it was rough. I shared a bedroom with him because he was supposed to help with rent. That didn't happen.
Ooh.
And then I had to be really mean to him to get him to leave because he knows our system better than we do. And if you stay somewhere for a week, you get to live there forever and nobody can ever do anything about it because our system is stupid. Anyway,
But of course, if your name is on the lease and you live there without paying rent, they just go ahead and kick you out.
right. You can get rid of people that would pay to live there, but you cannot get rid of squatters.
Yeah. Well,
Right. But anyway, that being said,
can.
LaDonna had
recommend it.
3 kids, Katrina, Jake, and Tyler. And now those kids, who are actually my second cousins, were my cousins because my cousin had been adopted and became my aunt.
Okay.
Right.
Now, 15 years later, my cousin slash aunt LaDonna also is a struggling drug addict and cannot take care of her kids, so my grandma adopts them, which makes them my second cousins, and aunts and uncles.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah. And so now I've got Jake's son and daughter, who are my third cousins, second cousins, and cousins.
I think
Yeah.
you got to be smoking something to make that make sense.
No, just to cause it, and then it has to make sense on its own. But yeah, it's a
Without
wild
skipping a
it's a
beat.
wild system, and it's the only scenario I can think of where I am my own grandfather.
Yeah. Well,
It happens. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And I mean, I did live with my grandmother for like 4 or 5 years, but we weren't
hold
married.
on. Hold on a second.
It
Hold
sounds
on.
like your grandparents are awesome. It sounds like the rest of them were a bunch of drug dealers.
That's exactly
Still
the
are.
situation, and they still are.
Oh.
And they
And
just
like,
called both of us.
The one that just called us now is probably wanting to borrow money.
Money.
Or to figure out if we could give her a ride 6 hours away from somewhere after driving 2 hours to pick her up from somewhere.
Or to
It's
see
that's
Yeah,
if
the
we can
only
it's
time
almost-
they ever talk to us. Is
Well,
when they want
it's
something
like
that.
I've had family like this too.
Makes
So
sense.
when they ask you if they can go to the pharmacy, what they mean is, can you come pick me up and then go on this trip to Florida and then drop me off? You know,
Can
on
you
the way
take
to
me to
the
run-
on the way to the pharmacy, could you drop me off in Tallahassee?
I'm starving. Can
and,
you drive
come
me
back.
to McDonald's? Can we also go 16 blocks out of way to stop at some dude's house? I'll be in there for no more than 5 minutes. 2 hours later, okay, I'm ready to go.
I feel like you've done that a lot.
More than I'd like to have, but less than I could have,
Well, that's good at least.
because like I don't answer those calls anymore.
Boundaries.
You know what? Uber can take over from here. That's my thought.
Yeah, but Uber, unlike me, demands money first.
Right.
Yeah. Or you get out of my car.
Well, I mean, you can't request a vehicle until
even
you've-
request it till
unless you
they've
already have
held
the
the
money
money
to
on
pay
it.
for it. Yeah, they pull what $60 or something like that every time you make an Uber request.
I don't know. You work for him.
I never used Uber,
Oh.
so I wouldn't know.
No, they
Never
put
used
they put
Uber
a
on
hold
my
on
card.
so much, but
Right, but
yeah.
if you have less than like $20 on on a particular card or something, they won't even pick you up.
Really?
Smart,
Interesting.
smart.
They have figured this out before.
I mean, they probably do the exact math because they know, like, you punch in the destination when you request an Uber.
Oh yeah, they have your what it will cost before you even
Right.
actually start the trip.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, I've actually had a couple Uber drivers drop me. Like they basically figured out. They called me on the phone saying, "Hey, where you going?" And they're not really supposed to ask that, but they asked me, "Where you going?" And I tell them where I'm going. If I'm not going far enough, they drop me and find another ride to take
Yeah.
because they want to make the big bucks. They don't realize, hey, you take me 5 minutes somewhere, and I give you a big tip because I realize it's out of your way and it's a hassle. You're not making much money at this deal.
Yeah.
But they don't take that into account. They just assume that everybody's a jerk.
Yeah, I stopped doing Uber after like 3 months straight of like being in Westport at 2:30 in the morning when all the bars closed down, and getting somebody that needed to drive 3 blocks and missing every single person that would have paid decent money.
So I'm trying to think. The last time I got an Uber, I was in Florida, and I wanted a steak.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
That was a
steak.
very, very expensive steak.
Oh, I bet in Florida they don't have moose.
It was
No.
a gator steak.
What?
Maybe.
No,
It
the
might have been
steak was
cheaper to get-
expensive because it
It's
took-
cheaper to get crabs.
Yeah.
Or swordfish or shark.
Yeah,
didn't
but I
say
had
crab,
all
I
of
said
them.
crabs.
Actually, you can get crabs for free down there, man.
Yeah.
Good old Floridia.
Yeah.
Wait, everybody take
What
a
is
breath.
flamin-
By the way, if you are listening to this podcast, it is because of Anchor.fm. Anchor is a free app in the App Store for any mobile device. There's also an app on the computer and a web interface, and it lets you record your podcast right there on that device. You don't have to use like sophisticated Pro Tools or Logic or a mixer board or any of that fun stuff. You just hit a button and you talk about what you want to talk about.
I like it.
I like it too. It's really exciting because you can make a podcast and it distributes it to like 12 or 15 different podcast services all at once on their end. You don't actually have to like go submit it to iTunes or something like that.
That is super convenient.
It is super convenient. It's great. And you can do sponsorships. So you can do like little promotional commercial type stuff. And then they give you some money,
Yeah.
which money is nice. It gets things and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. Highlights. Free app. Easy distribution. Instantly record.
Done.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Why does Floridia sound like a disease that you get?
It is.
Oh, it is a disease.
Yeah. It's you become like old and cranky and socialist.
Now I will say though that they might be old, but they do not drive slow. Like
Nice.
in between Orlando and Tampa, I was doing like 100 plus, and I was barely keeping up with traffic.
I like to drive really fast, and I don't mean kind of fast. I mean people gonna die
Yeah.
like really fast. I want to be cruising
For a bruiser?
for bruising, cruising. Yeah. Which brings us to the idea of I used to own this big truck.
Oh no, here we go.
I talk about this every once in a while when I'm upset with people while I'm driving. it was not uncommon for me to force people off the road because they were
Prius.
bad drivers. But this was 25 years ago, and
Statute of limitations, baby.
I wasn't at all a kind person back then.
Don't worry, it didn't have plates on it anyways.
Actually, one of them did not have any plates on it, and at the
See my
time,
point?
I did not have a driver's license, so it
Oh,
all
even
worked
better.
out.
It only makes sense.
Go ahead, take it away.
I don't
See
want.
what
What are you doing, Corey? Oh my gosh, Corey just tried to beat everybody up.
Wow. You can hear everything.
Okay,
His microphone.
so earlier tonight, I texted
Don't do it.
a girl at church named Raina that I've given some music lessons to and written some music with, something in Spanish, and she figured it out. She sent back, "We could be alpacas if we tried?" ? And that's exactly what I had sent her.
Yeah, she figured out how to use Google Translate too.
I don't know. She might know Spanish. She grew up in LA for a while.
Pretty sure. Ole.
Or La, in the city of La,
La.
or as they call it, Los Angeles, which means angels we can't find.
Angels, we need more money.
Unholy wood.
Unholy wood, which is like a formica. But yeah, it's like 9:30, and she just sent me that.
Wow.
AM or PM?
It's the later one, the post meridian.
Yeah,
After the meridian.
because it's still dark out.
Right. Yeah, I can see a light out the window, but that's from the Kansas City Power and Light building that is constantly pouring an entire daytime's worth of light through my windows while I'm trying to sleep at night.
Oh, that's nice.
And my parents were very considerate and bought me a blackout curtain for my birthday.
Wait a second.
Like-
A curtain?
A curtain, not having any idea that it was almost 2/3 of my window that it could cover.
Wah, wah.
So I need to get another one. But on the one hand, I don't know where they got the one they got or what kind it is. And I'd like for them to ever so slightly match.
Most likely
Walmart.
Walmart.
Well, Walmart.
That's all they got down there.
Oh, there is a Walmart down there. I'm like, they
There-
live down at the
Warsaw.
lake. I don't know
Or
if they could go to
You
a
could
Walmart.
try.
Wally World.
You could try Coles.
No, it would be a
Coles
Walmart.
there's a Coles that has
K-holes?
them.
K-holes?
Are there K-holes down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's right next to Kmart. Got it.
Well, there's not a Kmart anymore.
You're
It's-
right next to Kmart.
There was like a Sears something, and then there's nothing now.
Well, I mean, it was a Kmart at one point.
I remember that place.
Burp.
That's where I got all my extra large clothes for pretty much the same price as regular clothes.
Ah.
That's a steal.
Yeah. Meaning my stretchy pants.
Hey,
You're,
don't knock the
you're
stretchy
the
pants.
stretchy pants. What happened with the
Sometimes
stretchy pants?
You wear the stretchy pants.
Stretch the stretchy
It's for
pants.
fun.
Just for fun. When you're an adult. You know, this one time I was at the place.
Thanksgiving was fantastic that year.
I don't know what he's talking. I love the way that our stories are parts of stories and parts of other
It was like
stories.
that time.
And that space.
And
We
that,
drift in and out of our own conversation.
Have I told anybody about the album that I'm working on about space travel as a metaphor for love?
nice.
Yeah,
I've
we
got
gotta
about
work on that some
13
more.
songs. It's going to be fun. They are not at all what's the word? Polished. They're very very raw right now. Like me with a guitar in my hands singing into my phone while it's recording.
Smelly cat.
Like trying to eat it.
smelly cat. No, wait, no. Definitely not that.
Yeah.
I would never sing about the odors of cats.
Did you just lose a tooth?
No, I got it.
That was a
you heard.
Twizzler.
gonna say.
Twizzler being wrenched.
Like I said at the
between
beginning of
its
this
teeth and a-
podcast, these Twizzlers are pretty dry, but it's worth it. It's like candy jerky.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Yeah, because it's kind of a jerk, and it's candy.
Or jerk Ted.
Jerk dead.
Change the name of this candy from Starburst to Toothburst.
Uh-huh.
Toothburst. Yeah.
Well, my peach rings are. No, they're just perfect.
Peach rings.
They're
That's
Amish
a real
made
thing.
peach rings that I get every time I go down to the.
The Amish
the
are known
lake.
for their peach rings.
They have a whole bunch of gummy candies that they make.
On
and
the
they have
way
this-
to the Lake of the Ozarks, where my dad lives in a town called Edward.
Mm-hmm.
there is another town called Warsaw, which is also the capital of Poland, but a different Warsaw. This is an American Warsaw. And in the town of Warsaw, which I don't know has any residents, it may just have random stores, there is a gas station. And in this gas station, there is a tarp that separates the two parts of the gas station. And I don't know what that tarp serves a purpose of. Maybe it's a COVID thing. I have no idea.
Probably.
Probably
But-
separates the electrified part of the house from the
Right,
non-electrified.
It's maybe it's so that
Something
you can
like that.
find your way to the bathroom by filling the tarp. I don't know. But on a table in this
Bird
store,
box.
Right.
there are stacks of containers full of Amish-made candies. And now, I don't know how you would make flavored, sugar-coated gelatin candies
You don't.
in an Amish-friendly way. I believe the Amish is the group of people that refuse to use electricity,
Correct.
but they apparently don't refuse to use molded plastic
Well, you know.
or adhesive labels
So
or whatever gummy is
So
made of.
the loophole with the Amish is they can't have like central power, but nothing says that you can't have like 14 of those little gas Honda motors run everything.
They do run a chainsaw shop down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Amish chains,
Yeah.
Amish
Work on
small engine
motors
repair.
and- yeah.
Well, and the,
No,
the whole phone restriction too is changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
They can use their phones in a little wooden shed on
like a
the corner of the
phone
property, and they're not allowed to use it outside of that.
yeah. They can also have water on the property, but you still have to carry it into your house.
So they're in like a whole completely different level of legalism than we are.
But
Because
the
we're
inter-
like
fun
bacon's
kind.
not technically
Right.
pork.
But the very interesting thing about the small motor thing is I actually know a family down there that his whole life he's done like machine work,
With
like
machines.
fabrication work. So he has these, 20, 30 ton like metal manufacturing machines, and they're all ran off of basically the equivalent of a lawnmower motor.
Like brakes and extruders and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
There's like belts running everywhere, and then there's like 14 of these things inside a barn. And I'm like, wait a second.
They used to have horses on things
Yeah,
running to like move those things.
yeah. Well, they upgraded.
Yeah.
Now it's a mechanical horse.
And I remember in one movie they
It
had
smokes a
Arnold
little bit more,
Schwarzenegger
though.
walking in a circle.
Oh yeah,
The last horse hardly ever smoked. I mean, maybe a pack a week, maybe.
right. Hey, you'd be smoking too if all you had to do was go around in circles all day long.
5
I
minutes.
hate my
Smoke
job.
if you got him.
Because as a horse with a smoker's cough.
He's all
Right.
awesome. Talking about a smoker's cough. Let's everybody take a deep breath. So good. Now, as people that aren't horses or smokers, we can enjoy that.
Yep.
It's not always that way. Sometimes when you're a horse, you can't take a deep breath.
So are you still recovering from the foam pillow incident then?
No, I think I'm over it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Hopefully.
Oh, have you not heard of this?
The
Oh, you
phone
don't
pillow,
know?
foam pillow. Which one are you
So-
saying?
Foam. Like
Let me start by
squishy
saying
foam.
my
Okay.
mother is a monster.
It's always good to bring
and
this
then
one
we
up.
That's gonna
quickly
be the title
segue
of
to
this
this
one.
the topic. So my mother has been smoking her entire life, probably since she was like 6 or 7 or something, and she is now immobile. Like she can like move her legs, but she cannot carry her own weight.
She's not in the middle of mobile. She's
Yeah, she's right
outside of
out
mobile.
of mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she has a tendency to fall asleep with lit cigarettes in her hands, and one day, like 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up literally dying. My room's full of smoke. The whole house is full of smoke. My mother has dropped her cigarette into her memory foam pillow, which did not catch on fire, like in flames,
Yeah.
but like literally was smoldering all the way through the pillow and letting out just the most
Noxious
crazy
gases.
noxious smoke that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it burned in your lungs, not like being close to a
Yeah,
campfire.
think of like car fire.
Yeah, it was different. So I open the door. I see that the pillow is on fire. I grab the pillow and take it into the bathroom and put it in a sink and pour water on it, which does nothing but make tons more smoke. And so I close the door to the bathroom. I step back out into the hall and notice that not only was that on fire, but her mattress was on fire.
Oh my gosh.
So with her still asleep and mad at me because I have woken her up, I am putting out the fire in her mattress.
Oh my gosh.
While she's still sitting on
And
it.
then as I get that fire out, because the mattress isn't memory foam, the mattress is just a regular mattress, you can actually kind of extinguish that.
Yeah, and it can kind of catch
I
on
step
fire too.
back into the hall.
Your mom sounds hot.
And smoke is rolling out of the
Smoky.
closed bathroom door. So I open the bathroom door, and of course, big gust of like inhaled toxic fumes. I grab that pillow and I run outside and throw it off the front porch. And so I go back inside. The whole house is full of smoke, so I open a bunch of windows. It's cold out.
Yeah.
So all this is happening, like, and the only option is to maybe survive, but the house is cold now. And everybody's mad because I have saved everyone's life, because that's the life that I live. But anyway,
Should have let it burn.
after opening all the windows, I go outside and realize that this pillow is still on fire in the front lawn. So I grab the garden hose and I spray this pillow for a good 20 minutes. And I think, all right, it's thoroughly drenched. So I drop the hose, I turn the water off, I go back inside. And when I came out several hours later to go to work, it was still smoking.
Oh my gosh.
So I got the hose and I sprayed it for another couple of minutes and I went to work. And I came home 8 hours later.
And there's a hole in the lawn
There
where
were,
it used to be.
the grass around it had caught on fire and burned, and the pillow was still smoldering, and they had not even noticed in the house.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, they didn't notice a fire in their bed. I don't
right.
think
Yeah.
it's any difference
So-
if it's on the lawn.
It was there. It was probably still a couple of months after that I finally moved out, but that was the day that I realized I could not stay there because they would kill me.
Yeah.
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 You would die of
Because
smoke
they-
inhalation in your sleep, most
Because
likely.
they
before the
got
fire
mad
ever
at
got
you for trying to keep the house from burning down.
They also got mad at me 2 or 3 years before that. This is why I ended up living with my grandma for a year, because my mother had told me she was going to kill herself, and I called 911
Oh.
because I was at work without a car, and she had called me from home to beg me to do something that would have required me quitting my job. And I said, no, I'll be free in about 6 hours. She said, fine, I'll just kill myself, and hung up and didn't answer the phone again after that.
Oh.
So I called 911 and I'm like, my mom just threatened to kill herself. I cannot get to her. This is her address. And they went there.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point of it,
Yeah.
not it?
And my parents were furious at me that I had not taken my mother threatening to kill herself lightly. Yeah. So I didn't go back.
It's understandable.
It was like I spent 3 weeks at my grandma's apartment, and then we got an apartment here at the Ethans together. And so we did that for a year and a half. And then I ended up moving back in with my mom because it was the only option I had at some point because my grandma moved to Texas.
Just love torturing yourself, don't you?
Yep. I just, I never make quite enough money to get ahead. And I always end up back in that crappy situation where I'm probably going to die eventually.
Yeah.
Get
But
that
hey, at
life
least you're not
insurance.
living at their house anymore.
And now for something a little more upbeat. That's all I got.
Oh my gosh.
Upbeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many beats.
So many beats.
All the beats.
Sick beats. Healthy beats. Bum 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 bum.
Beats are
bum,
healthy for you.
bum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that I've been working on this last couple of weeks. So it's 2021. For the first month of 2021, January, I challenged myself to write a song every day. I want to do that for the whole year. But I wrote on a guitar, which is my normal instrument. And so this month, to challenge myself, I switched to piano, which was the worst choice that I've ever made. Ever. I don't know who plays piano out there, but you people are crazy. How do you... it's frustrating. But anyway, so like... just like with the guitar, I sit down with a piano and I can immediately write the music that fills up the space of a song. And it sounds shockingly well done, like I know what I'm doing or something. And then I try to put words and lyrics to it, and it's almost impossible. It is so hard to come up with anything to like a recorded track. I never tried doing that before. I've always been playing the instrument as I'm coming up with stuff, which makes it feel a little more natural to come up with melodies and stuff because you're doing it in time with a thing instead of trying to keep up with something. Yeah, it's rough. But this is the 4th of February for those of you listening. And on the 1st and 2nd, I wrote a piano song by myself. It was rough. On the 3rd, I did a songwriting small group at my church. So we wrote a song on guitar because I didn't want to take a piano with me. And then today, which is the 4th, Ben and I wrote a song on piano.
Yep.
And the piano part, just like everything else, happened really fast and was done. And like we revamped it once or twice. But then we spent 30, 40 minutes
Easily.
trying to put like not even a whole coherent song's worth of thoughts into the melody.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's not as easy as the other stuff that I've done.
Well, most people wouldn't complain if they could write a song in an hour, period.
True.
Knock it out. I mean,
Yeah.
he was gonna knock out 3 of them in that time. That's the problem.
Yeah, you got to remember that most songwriters are good to write a song maybe a month.
Right, but I got really excited because in January I wrote 40-something songs. And right now I'm on track to write 28 songs in February, if I manage to keep it up
On the piano.
on the piano.
On the piano.
How many of those are actually usable?
Last month, maybe 2 or 3 of them were pretty good.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
And this month, the one that I wrote yesterday with Kyle actually turned out really well. And the one we wrote today, if it wasn't me singing a melody that I don't know yet, it would probably have some potential.
It was actually not bad.
Yeah, it would probably have some potential.
That's pretty good.
But I'm already thinking about the future. I think next month I'm going to write with just bass.
Ooh.
Like,
Sounds
Like
pretty.
the bass.
like bass guitar.
Sounds pretty basic.
And then like
So basic.
build a song on that and then add instruments after the song is built. So that'll be kind of fun because I've
Good
never
challenge.
tried that.
I'm going to build from the bottom, huh?
Yeah, literally. And we'll be using bass as the bass
Of every song.
for the song.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yep.
It'll be pretty basic.
Oh,
Science.
that's unique. No one came up with that before.
Yeah, I've never heard
Said
that
it.
joke before. Good job, Adam.
Not even. a
Yeah, that
second
was
or
me
two before you said
complimenting
it.
myself if you're not familiar with our voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's going on in my world. How about you, Ross? You got any crazy projects you're starting?
No, not really.
No.
Oh, I did find that I have 3 rooms that I can add in my attic.
Nice.
And apparently my attic also tried to kill me at the same time.
So are you gonna put in a study?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
A parlor room? I
You're
don't know
putting
exactly
the-
what that is.
You're
but-
putting the music studio at the top floor,
Yes.
right
Yeah.
above the bedroom.
Yeah, so the music studio goes on the ceiling of the bedroom upstairs.
and you like strap into a chair that tilts forward and you look down through
Yeah.
through a window at this.
Yeah, and the only way to get
No.
through it is there's a trap door in the ceiling. You have to like crawl up through it. Or I'm going to figure out some way to put it on hydraulics, which I think would be a lot more fun.
Fireman's pole.
Yeah, but it's really hard to go up.
That's true. Yep.
Reverse
Yeah, no, I get-
fireman's pole.
You just you have the bottom thing on a pulley and you just
Yeah, just a
squeak a
little
lot.
round plate. That
You're gonna
you-
squeak a lot, though. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Plus, it's like an
Oh, yeah.
open hole during the rest of the
Yeah, it
day
is.
around the pole.
You're an open hole.
Crap! I dropped my headphones again.
Man, not again.
Straight through the hole. It's, yeah. All right,
That's what I get for using wireless headphones.
at that point, you'll have to have a fishing pole
Right.
to like retrieve things that you've dropped. Come on, pencil. Come on.
Come on. Ah, so close.
Damn it, cell phone.
Problem is, you use the
Connect.
wrong size hook for that pencil.
Right.
But
Gotta get in
at this
trouble
point,
with
if
it.
you
It
drop
can
your phone,
totally
you
see
can
you
lower a
coming.
MagSafe charger.
Yeah, 3 stories down.
Apparently, Apple invented something that was
All the way to
useful
the
finally.
basement.
How about you, Corey? You got any crazy, exciting projects for February?
I'm still working on the Settlers of Catan, and then after that, I'm going to print a couple more Mortal Kombat masks because I have somebody that might actually want to buy them from me.
I've heard 3 or 4 people ask if you make
Yes.
them one. How much you selling them for? $30?
I could, because
Do
I
it.
haven't named a price, and he said whatever you come up with.
It's 25.
$5,000.
$1
$1 million.
million.
And then I'm going to
Freaking laser beams on their freaking heads.
attempt to learn how to model in the program.
I've thought about that too, but I'm not really in that
I
kind of
didn't
shape.
go through 7 years of evil college just
Like
to call
I watched a
Mr.
bunch of
Otto.
tutorials yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. And then I tried jumping into it because it's like, oh, I understand the basics of it. I'll be able to do this because I catch on pretty quick to stuff. But when I did jump into it, I got really frustrated really quick.
Start with a cube
Yeah,
and work your way up.
That's what I'm gonna have to do just to get used to
Yeah,
the
make some
program.
dice, actually, if you can make some dice.
Build a
Little Davidson.
snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Papa, can you hear me?
Oh, no. This has gone downhill.
Science. It's all science. Yeah.
It's like a snowball, it just keeps going downhill.
How about Ben? You
Keep
got any
on
exciting
rolling.
projects coming up?
Rolling.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a little translation work. New
I
Testament,
like how you went.
Greek.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's an
A little
Australian
bit of
thing.
that, and then getting myself in a little bit of a shape that's not round.
Pear.
And
Got
Yeah,
it.
we're aiming for
Pumpkin.
pear shape.
Got it.
we're
That's
aiming for the
beginning of
upside down
process.
pear, maybe. Like a little bit more bulky on top, a little less on the bottom there.
Oh, the Dolly Parton.
That's right.
That makes sense.
That's all right. If I can admire myself in the mirror, I don't need anything else right now.
right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I look like Dolly Parton, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Like,
a little easy on the eyes right there.
yeah, what? No, sorry.
Anyway.
That's one of those things that I say, and I immediately regret having said, but completely meant.
And now it's going to be on the internet forever.
Yeah. No, I mean, who doesn't want to look like Dolly? I mean, she is in tremendous shape for 85 or something.
I was going to say, is she like 100 now?
She doesn't look a day
She's
over
great.
30, 60.
30, 60.
Like the two numbers
You're
together.
30, 60.
The two numbers together are 3,060.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, she definitely looks quite a bit older, but she still fits into the dresses the way the dresses are made, which is a big deal, probably.
For older
Or
people, yeah.
maybe has something to do with the elasticity of human skin.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you pour pudding into a funnel, it doesn't have anything to do with the
puts-
quality of the pudding. It just becomes funnel shaped. Physics.
Yeah.
The volume
Kind
of